Okay, something I plan on talking about a lot on my channel is Myers-Briggs personality typology. However, I feel that I need to make a video before I do such on the limitations of it, because I think a lot of the time people take it really far, which almost makes it useless as a means to view the world in a useful way in general. So basically, Myers-Briggs personality typology is often referred to as MBTI. It's sort of a Jungian school of thought, specifically often put in the area of psychology. It is a sort of social categorization. According to Jungian Myers-Briggs personality typology, people can sort of be separated into 16 different personality types. Now, the problem with this, obviously, is people don't fit into 16 personality types. People have all sorts of different personalities. Everyone is different, I suppose, to an extent. However, this fact is often forgotten by people who subscribe too much to the Myers-Briggs personality disorder. Wow, that was a Freudian slip. Myers-Briggs personality typology. They use it to explain too much about their personality, I think. However, that being said, those are the risks associated with using this school of thought, and I see this problem a lot when I am online trying to read about it. People tend to slot themselves, and people tend to use the letters that they have assigned to themselves as explanation for everything they do, which is absolutely ridiculous. So, anyway, according to Jungian psychology, Myers-Briggs personality typology, people can be separated into 16 different personality types. Now, more specifically, they can be separated into introverted versus extroverted, intuitive versus sensing, thinking versus feeling, and judging versus perceiving. So when someone's supposedly introverted, the manner in which they get energy, they relax, they chill out, recharge, is solitary. They need to be by themselves, away from other people to kind of relax. Now, extroverted is the complete opposite, obviously. They need to be around people to gain energy and such. If they're not around people enough, they need, they feel like that they need to be more around people. Okay, so intuitive versus sensing. Someone who's intuitive very much lives inside their own head often, sort of more abstract thinkers. Some people who are sensors take into account things that are literally around them. They're more sort of not static thinkers, literal. They think of things in a more literal manner. Now, thinking versus feeling. Someone who's a thinker makes decisions often based off logic, based off facts that they've already corroborated to be true in the past. Versus someone who is a feeler often makes decisions off gut instinct, taking into account often sort of emotional inclinations and such that they have. Not necessarily irrational, I don't think, but just they view information in a different way. Now, someone who is a perceiver versus a judger. Someone who's a perceiver is more flexible, doesn't really plan stuff that far ahead, as opposed to someone who is a judger plans far ahead for the most part, is very sort of driven to make sure that those plans are followed, otherwise they're not happy. So basically, the type that I've been slotted as is INTJ, which is introverted, intuitive, thinking, judging. Basically, that means I'm introverted. I need to be by myself a lot of the time. If I'm not around a lot of people, I find it absolutely exhausting. Intuitive versus sensing. I live a lot inside my own head. I think generally intuitives are more abstract thinkers, which is very much the case with me. I think thinker versus feeling. I base my decisions off logic, off facts that I've already corroborated to be true, and follow that, as opposed to using my gut instinct, which a lot of the time I think it would be very useful for me to pay more attention to different kind of stuff than I do. So basically, I think I'm a little bit too extreme in that matter. Now judging versus perceiver. I'm a judger. I plan everything militantly, and I'm not in the moment at all, which is often I find stressful. I will right now, like I'm curious. I'm concerned about what I'm going to be doing tomorrow, but at the same time, I also try to plan what I'm going to be doing for the next 10 years, which is completely absurd, yet I feel the need to do compulsively because it just can't not, despite the fact that I find it stressful to do this, to plan as much as I do. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so that's my type, and these are some of the limitations that I view with viewing Jungian psychology, Myers-Briggs personality typology, taking it too far. I think people tend to slot themselves into their type and assume that everything or characteristic that is stereotypically associated with that type applies to them, which is absurd and makes it useless to actually use as a way of trying to understand people in general. It kind of undermines it. So anyway, I'm going to be talking about this on my channel, and so I thought I'd make this as a sort of disclaimer, I suppose, in a sense, that I'm going to try to talk about this, but I'm going to also try to not take it too far, because I see that as a sort of a chronic problem, and it's almost tempting a lot of the time. So that's that. Yeah.